Hi, I'm Amanda at Enchanted Revolution, and today I'm going to be making a holiday recipe. My grandmother used to make applesauce every year, and just the smell in the kitchen was amazing. She didn't really want anyone in the kitchen, but I would just sit there and watch her from a distance, and she would kind of let me get away with that. So I'm going to make my version of it, which is probably a little bit more healthy. I know she used a lot of butter and sugar, which taste delicious, but I feel like there's some other things we can do that taste just as good and are a healthier version. So I'm going to go ahead and chop the rest of these apples. I do have some here. It's about 5 Granny Smith apples. You can also use any variety of apples that you like. The Granny Smith are really kind of a pie apple. They're a little tart, so when you add a little bit of, I'm going to put some organic maple syrup in there, it really has a wonderful flavor. What we want to do is we want to peel them first. And don't worry if there's a little bit of, if somebody was a little rough with your apples, because this is going to cook down. It's going to be delicious. Not as concerned with how pretty it looks as how good it's going to taste. Actually, it will be pretty. And just cut your apples once you've peeled it. Like I said, this is, and in the bottom of the description box, the recipe will be there, so you'll know how many apples and all of those good things you're going to need. But it's about 5 somewhat large apples. Do not cut toward your hand. That is not the way we do things. That's the way I do things. Doesn't mean it's the best way. Okay. So that's looking good. Just have a couple more here. I like to make a lot because what my grandma used to do is we had an apple tree up the road, and it was in the neighbor's area, and there was just so many, and we would just pick as many as we could, and she would make applesauce, and she'd freeze it, and we thought we'd have it all the time. It's really, really good, and you can just heat it back up on the stove. Just delicious. It's like a treat. But I like to serve this at Thanksgiving, and it really is good year round. But in the winter, it's nice and warm. It's a really nice dessert too, or a side dish. So there we have our apples, and you know, there's something about lime juice that really brings up the flavor. My cousin one time brought an apple pie to a party, and I said, my God, this is just amazing tasting. She goes, you know, the thing is, it called for lemons, and instead I used limes. And it really brings a unique flavor to it. And so I have started putting lime. I just like lime and apple together sometimes. And so I incorporated lime into this recipe. So we're going to just take our apples, and we're going to put them in our pan. And this is actually on high, which we don't need it on high. You could just put it on medium-low. So you put your apples in, and with the maple syrup, you don't need a whole lot. I'm going to use about 1/4 cup. I don't use measuring cups, obviously. This is a dear friend of mine made this beautiful cup, and I would say that this is about 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And we're going to pour that in there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put the juice from these limes in here. And the easiest way I find to I mean, you can buy a fancy gadget, but just use a spoon works. You just kind of break that area up and get all the lime juice out. Put that in there. Good. limes are very good for you. We're gonna cook this down, so it's, you can do a raw version of this too, which is, I would actually not put the maple syrup necessarily. I probably just, during the summer, I like to just use limes or lemons and some cut up apples and some cinnamon. So, but for this, I am going to add some cinnamon, and I am heavy handed with my cinnamon. Not everyone is as crazy about it as I am, but I don't even know. This is probably enough to kill a horse. That's how much I like. So, let's see. This is kind of about the size of a tablespoon. So I would say I would probably use a tablespoon in this much, which is, my mom would not like this. She used a lot of cinnamon over the years, and I think she's burned out on it. So I'm like, oh, you want some of this? And she's like, no, it's too much cinnamon. So I like it to coat the apples about like that. And toward the end, I'll give it a look. I'll look at it again and make sure it looks like I want it to look, and I may add just a sprinkle more. So that's kind of what you want it to look like. And then the last ingredient that is really going to bring your flavor up is the Himalayan. You don't have to use this kind of salt. It could be any kind of salt. I like this, and or you can use some sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, or regular table salt, whatever you want. And honestly, let's see how much goes in this spoon. Okay, that didn't even work. Who cares? It's probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Just a little bit to kind of bring. It's just going to bring the flavor up kind of bit. So now that we've got to this stage, what you do is you leave it on the medium to low heat. You cover it, and you're going to let this simmer for approximately 20 minutes until everything's soft. So I'm having a look at the progress here. I'm just going to give this a quick stir, and then I'm going to put the cover back on it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give this a taste. That's good. Is it as good as my grandma's? Yeah, it really is. Thanks, and have a great holiday season.